Oh,
And we're live.
Ooh.
Greetings, everyone. We're going to talk about some Cowboy Bebop today.
All right, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
Right? Yeah. If only I had the forethought and the know-how to like throw that up there, but I
you
think
probably get copyright strike anyway.
I think. Well,
Yeah,
I
probably.
think that feature is reserved for the people who are actually giving StreamYard money, and I'm not one of them. So, but anywho, so yeah, I've been watching Cowboy Bebop, and I've watched the first 13 episodes.
First season.
And so yeah, although on I guess on Hulu, because I got me a free free trial of Hulu, and they've got all 26 episodes together. So
Awesome.
they don't have it separated, season 1, season 2. They just have it all, I guess, because that you didn't you say that's all they had was the
26 episodes in the movie.
Yeah. But so I guess
which
I'm halfway
takes
through
place before episode 24.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so anyway, I watched the first half, 13 episodes, and like I said when I on the stream with Saggy Melons that I did, she or I thought it was funny how like it seemed like they never seemed to get a bounty, up until like the first one. I think I seen them actually get to turn in was on episode 10.
Yeah.
And they already had the guy, in the ship, tied up, and freaking Ed, which I don't know, it cracks me up because they, it's totally a dude's name, Edward, whatever, I'm
Edward Wong Poplow Turovsky III. Yeah.
So anyway, I would have had to have pulled that up and like read it. But yeah, the fourth Esquire, whatever the hell, you might as well put Esquire on the end of that. But anyway, but apparently Ed is a girl.
Yep.
Like a 13-year-old girl. So I don't know if they if they were just trying to be funny or progressive or what, but if they,
well, this was made in the
90s,
and in Japan they don't do progressive. They just do whatever they come up with.
Right, but I mean, this was like 1998, and they're already coming out with this stuff, the Jupiter ones, right?
Jupiter Jazz.
Episodes 12 and 13, they were apparently it was like a LGBT plus planet or whatever, because like where they were, it's like nothing like but a bunch of dudes and cross dressers and transgenders and
yeah.
all this.
Basically, it was a messed up planet. It was meant to be like that.
But it's like that one bounty guy, the Riet. Is it Riet? I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, it's been a while. I remember the episodes and the plots, but I don't quite remember certain characters' names. Yeah.
It don't matter.
Yeah.
We're all on the same level.
Anyway, the one guy, he was Jet, the bald guy, whatever, that Spike's buddy. His ex-girlfriend, that Riet or Rien, whatever, is like her new guy, and he was one of the people that had a bounty on him, and but no, not him. What was the other? Jen? Was it Jen? Jesus, I really should look these things up beforehand.
The ex-girlfriend's name was Alyssa, and her new boyfriend was Rin. Is that what you were talking about?
Yeah, but I'm thinking of the wrong guy. The guy who was in prison and experienced some bodily alterations.
Glenn, I think his name was, if I remember correctly.
Glenn?
Glenn.
Yeah, Glenn. Yeah.
Oh, and Jupiter Jazz. Yeah.
Yeah. Gren. Yeah, that was him. And yeah, he's going to feature into the live Netflix series. They've already mentioned that, which makes me just facepalm so hard.
But anyway, he was talking to Faye Valentine.
Yeah.
And they're talking back and forth, and he's like, I'm not interested in women, and she's like, she's like, yeah, well, like basically she's like, well, considering where we are, it's like,
yeah,
it's all, and I'm like, and I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, I wonder what the, certain crowd these days, would think about this episode. Would they be like, would they be in an astonishment of of having representation long before it was a thing.
Well, that sort of thing was very common in 90s anime, and including a whole lot of other freakier things. But I think the main point of the episode is that Gren was really, really messed up and wanted revenge on Vicious for selling him out.
Yeah. And that,
I mean, this stuff.
That guy, Vicious, like he, so Spike used to hang with him.
Yep.
Because we learned about that several episodes ago, and so it's like, but apparently Grin knew Vicious before Spike did.
Yeah, in the Titan Wars.
Yeah, and but he sets up that meeting. He sets up that meeting with Vicious, and next thing you know, he's like kicking this suitcase over to him, and it pops open, you see this bomb, and then then you get a shot from the ground, with Spike, I think, and then it's like you see the explosion, and then they go back up, and like, and nobody's dead. It's like, what? But including the dude that was with Vicious, which later on, he gets shot and killed by Grin. I guess he caught a bullet for Vicious, I guess. And but it's it was funny though, like they he disguised, he actually disguised himself as a woman, because he because of the alterations that happened to him in prison, but it was I just I really like the way that they set things up in this show.
Yeah, I think an interview from a while back, they wanted to make every episode like a little mini movie.
That's exactly how I feel that.
And there's going to be, I think season 2, what's coming up, is going to get even wilder. So I'm not going to spoil anything, but there's going to be some really wild episodes. One in particular I'm thinking of. Close Call. If you know these series, you probably know the one I'm thinking of right now.
I'm having to rewatch it because it's been so long, and I don't even know how far I got. I know I'm past that.
Yeah. But yeah, season 2 is really where the show just hits its stride, and everything that people love about it is in there, especially the movie. And one thing you got to admit, this show has a banging soundtrack.
Oh my god, yeah. It's an experience every time.
Yeah, just the soundtrack. I mean, apparently when the show premiered in Japan, jazz just took off. Like this show just launched jazz in the East because of that soundtrack and that intro. And I can see why. I mean, like you were talking about Jupiter Jazz, the ending track called Space Lion. That is one of my top tracks from the series. I love that track so much. Just the way the sax goes into the African chants and it all blends together near the end. Just so perfect. Love it so much. And what was it? The from Ballad of Fallen Angels. Oh yeah, Rain. When Spike is walking to the church and the track that's playing, Rain. Yeah, that's another favorite of mine.
Yeah.
Which I was it. Was it one of the Jupiter episodes? I think. I don't know. Anyway, when they were like playing, this flashback, of all the of all that stuff, like him standing up against the the building with the flowers and thinking about that gal and all that stuff.
Julia,
Julia, yeah. But they know what they're doing with the with the music and tying it in with the
just the mood and the atmosphere.
Building the mood and all, yeah.
And the composer, her name is Yoko Kanno. Apparently, going by the interviews, Ed was patterned after her personality. Like she said, just some kind of crazy genius, musical genius that just comes up with tracks, just boom.
Right.
Like certain tracks she'll just think of on the spot. Also with improv, that she'll create languages just because she thinks it goes with a certain track she has in her head.
Well, the thing is, it's like Ed, Ed just cracks you up, You know, with the
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
you know, like I said at the beginning of episode 10, you know, and they got the guy, you know, like tied up next to the wall, you know, and Ed is just like, you know, walking by him and looking at him, and you know, she like lays on the floor and is acting all weird and stuff, and
Yeah.
he puts out his foot to nudge her head, you know, like, what the heck are you doing, kid, you know? And then next thing you know, she like jumps up on him and starts biting his ear.
Yeah, it's
Like,
the alien
yeah.
episode, episode
Oh
11.
yeah.
Oh
That
yeah.
cracks me up.
Just
Yeah.
at the end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just that is not a way I'd want to go, man.
And the thing is, you know, it's like, and at one time, you know, he starts talking about the damn refrigerator and a lobster, and he left the lobster in there for a year, you know, and
it
then
turned into that alien.
yeah, and so you're thinking, I'm like, you know, it's like, how the hell is a freaking ruined lobster gonna turn into like a, you know, the Blob or something, you know?
You don't know space. Anything could happen out there.
Exactly.
But and then, you know, like at the end of the episode, you know, where they talk about like the upcoming episode and all that, you know,
Yeah.
Ed was like, you know, and everybody died, and now, you know, now it's the Ed show, you know, cowgirl, you know, cowgirl Ed is now, you know, the head character, and then, you know, I think Spike or somebody comes on, you know, and is like, you know, yeah, don't
listen to her.
don't get ahead of yourself there, kid, you know, whatever. And,
Yo.
but yeah, but at the end of that, or, you know, when he takes the refrigerator, you know, and he's trying to boot the refrigerator, you know, out of the spaceship.
Mm-hmm.
and the blob thing shows up, you know, just to make it a little bit more dramatic and whatnot. But again, you know, with the music thing, you know, when he finally gets the refrigerator kicked out,
Yeah,
you know,
and they're playing a waltz.
Yeah, yeah, and the door is like, you know, cracked open, so all the, you know, all the goo or whatever from inside the refrigerator is like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, making this sparkly spiral out in space, you know, and they're like,
and they're playing a waltz.
You know,
Do 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 do. Bum 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 bum.
but
Yeah, this show has some wild episodes that you gotta love.
But I don't know. I want one of the ones that I wanted to see like more of, or whatever. Like, it seemed like they didn't. They kind of left it on a cliffhanger, or, you know, like didn't quite finish it. Was where where he was on that one planet where the dude had like this miniature tree, you know, like in a globe or something. And it was gonna be able to cure that gal of her blindness or whatever.
Oh, I know the one you're talking about. No, they finished that pretty definitively, because that dude, well, he died.
Yeah,
and Spike had to take the tree to his sister, so she could be cured.
Right, but the tree, the glass ended up breaking, and the little tree like just wilted right there. But you know, they it like it seemed like I was, you know, looking for more, you know, that, you know, like what happened to her, or like, maybe, you know, I guess maybe I'm wondering, you know, thinking that maybe, you know, he'll have dealings with her in the future or something. I don't know. It just seemed seemed a little
unfinished.
Yeah, like I just felt like I was looking for a different ending or something.
Nah, she don't. I don't think it's a spoiler to say she don't return. You're gonna get a few episodes like that though in season 2.
Yeah. But
The Earth episode, yeah, that Wookiee in Exile is talking about.
Waltz for Venus was that was the episode.
Yeah, that was with Jet's X. That's actually one of my favorite episodes.
With the tree. Well, no, Jet's X was in the.
Oh yeah, it was Ganymede Shuffle.
Last
Yeah,
two.
Waltz for Venus was the one with the tree. Sorry.
Jupiter Jazz.
Yeah.
But and toys in the attic, which automatically made me think of Aerosmith.
Living in the fridge.
Yeah, that was the thing with the blob alien and all that.
Blob, yeah.
But freaking jamming with Edward. That's where they met Ed, and that was just that was kind of funny, and the thing about Ed, the thing about Ed that cracks me up is, like Jet and Spike, and even Faye, they're all kind of like, like just like a, kind of like a low, mellow type of, talking and whatnot, and then you got Ed, which is like,
yeah.
It's like, it's like, there's no like no volume for Ed, it's
No,
either,
there isn't.
It's either all the way down or all the way up,
Yeah.
And it's like, and like, okay, like during the Toys in the Attic, and she's walking around looking for the damn thing, like, and it's like, like she opens this one little door to like this little storage room or whatever, and it's like, hey, Mr. Alien, are you here? I'm Ed, and it's like,
yeah, she different.
But
yeah.
But I mean, they're all pretty good episodes, though. Like Heavy Metal Queen. That one cracked me up. Because
I love that the bounty was styled after Woody Allen.
Yeah, she right. That it, like. Like Faye thought she found the guy with the dragon tattoo, and it ended up being like some sort of eel or something. Yeah. And freaking, little wimpy skinny boy, was like actually, the one that she was looking for, and he's like in the next booth over, kind of like sitting there, doing this and, trying to cover up his tattoo on his arm, the dragon tattoo on his arm.
Mm-hmm.
And, but they, when they're, when the ship gets messed up and Spike has to actually freaking Faye's ship and Spike's ship gets messed up, and they have to hitch a ride with this trucker, with this trucker lady, and she's all like blasting heavy metal on there. they're all like, like, what are you playing? Can you turn it down? And she's like, nope. But and then by the end of the episode, apparently, Spike found this photograph of like her and her husband, and Spike recognized him as a bounty hunter, that had gotten killed or whatever, and because that was like one of the things throughout the episode was like everybody would come up to her with like a little stack of money, trying to guess what her initials, VT, what her initials stood for,
And Spike was the only one who guessed it. It just takes like maybe a few bills out of the pile,
right? And then
instead of the whole thing.
Yeah, but they're towards the end of the episode, he's like, he actually says her name, and he's like, yeah, now I know who you are because I knew your husband and all this stuff, but yeah, it's like you said, she was like, she just kind of like starts to hand him the whole pile, and he just took his, the one little bill that he bet her with, in the bar or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But
nice little moment
it's just, and dude, talk about using or like subverting expectations, I guess. Sympathy for the devil.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that episode.
With the little kid that played harmonica and whatnot.
Yeah, that freaked me out.
And you're all like, the one guy was trying to save old boy, which you were thinking that he was trying to save the kid, but it was actually the other guy he was trying to save.
Yeah.
The guy in the wheelchair.
And the kid had been around for like 100 years or so.
Yeah. And it's like you like when the one guy, goes up into the hotel room, and he's holding the gun on him, and he's like, come on, get away from him and whatnot. And, you're thinking that he's, pointing at the dude. And then later on, we find out that it's, that it was the kid that shot him and, made him, basically fall to his death, even though Spike kind of caught him. Spike kind of caught him on the nose of his little spaceship there, but I guess it was too little, too late because he had been fatally shot. But he's all like, help him, and you're thinking, okay,
help the kid,
help the kid, yeah. And then later on, Spike catches up to him in that warehouse or whatever it is, and they're up at the top of the stairs, and next thing you know, the freaking kid is shooting at him, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, that was a cool little episode.
Yeah. But yeah, man, it's there's pretty much something in just about every episode, even though I love
the Enter the Dragon and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar references in the second episode, the one that introduces Ayn.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like the bounty hunter that's competing with him. He styled after Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and at one point they referenced the nunchucks that Bruce Lee was using.
Yeah.
So that was some callbacks, and that's something the director does. Like he loves Western media, and
Yeah.
he makes anime that is very, very
Well,
Western in tone.
I mean, like so the dog, they have the dog in this damn briefcase, and it's like, later on when you find out that it's a dog in there, you're like, how the hell is he breathing, or moving
Yeah.
around or anything, because
Mhm.
it doesn't look like it's big enough to hold a dog, but there was one guy who like had it and like opened it up, and the look on his face, you're like, you think that there was some, like that alien blob thing was in the damn suitcase instead of a freaking corgi,
Yeah.
but but another one of the ones that like cracked me up, especially at the end, was the I guess it was what, one, two, like the fourth episode, with the I don't know, for lack of a better term, the eco terrorists,
The extreme animal rights activist group.
Yeah. And they had like those vials of I don't know. I'm gonna steal from Ninja Turtles a little bit. Like the little vial of like mutagen stuff. That was gonna turn everybody into like monkeys or something. They, they're at the end, and they're like trying to make they're escaping or what, and and that one little vial gets loose and busts, as they're getting away, and you're like, well, they're gonna end up, being a bunch of monkeys lost out in space.
Pretty much. And I love how it showed like Spike slipped that in her pocket when she wasn't looking.
Yeah, it's I'm looking forward to watching the rest of them, and seeing what happens. But
We'll have to do this next week to talk season 2.
yeah, which I've I don't know, like I tried doing this on a Wednesday one time, but yeah, I'm actually good with doing this on a next Saturday or whatever with you guys. But excuse me. Like I said, this is like for the audience out there. My acid reflux decided to start kicking a few minutes before showtime here, so it's a little irritating. And there is no product placement on this channel whatsoever.
He does not bow to any sponsor.
We do not promote anything or anyone on this channel. Okay, there we go.
Darn.
Yeah. Yeah, but on a serious note, go to Paulie's channel. Go to his and I'm sure you'll be able to find the links, to his merchandise. He's got the cups, and he's got some cool T-shirts and hoodies and stuff that I think you guys would like. But I don't know. Let's talk about some suggestions. like where did I? Oh, my notebook is in the my backpack. So anyway, what are some suggestions that you guys have for stuff to watch?
Well, I was talking about Space Dandy from the same director
Yep.
a few minutes ago, and yeah, that's a really great one. I mean, the show is just buck wild insane. You never know what's coming in the next episode. You got a Night of the Living Dead one. You got one where Space Dandy's meeting all these alternate universe versions of his. One is Michael Jackson. The other is Sheldon from Big Bang Theory. It's Space Dandy is nuts. Basically, you get the feeling this is the director really just going hog wild, and it was great. Samurai Champloo by the same director, where it's basically a samurai story with a hip hop soundtrack. And one of the main characters is literally like an ancestor of Spike's. Looks just like him. And, well, Kids on the Slope, also by the same director. And the same composer, Yoko Kanno, which is basically a post-World War II story of set in high school of people being brought together by their love of jazz. So, I mean, those are, if you're loving Cowboy Bebop, those are some of the ones I would most recommend.
Yeah.
By the same director. There's really no one like him. No one that really does this many Western influences and does that many references in their anime. And as for the composer, Yoko Kanno, well, she's just all over the place. Like, just look up her resume. I think she's done like 50 series so far and movies combined.
Right.
She's just done everything. And she's amazing in just about everything she does. So, I mean, I would just say look up her resume, see what you can find. She's done Gundam, she's done Macross, she's done romance series, she's done so many things. She's got a hugely impressive resume, and she's pretty fantastic in everything.
Yeah. Wookiee, I don't know. I may or may have seen Akira. I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, that's pretty much like the quintessential anime right there.
And if you're one more I want to recommend, if you're on a budget and looking for something to watch for free, a really, really, really good anime called Full Metal Panic is on YouTube. Can be watched for free. And it's kind of like take the military mecha genre, take the high school romance drama genre, mix them together. That's Full Metal Panic.
Yeah,
it's really
good. Like I said, the previous episode that when Saggy Millens jumped on with me, like I told her, like I said, I got my free trial of Hulu, and so I went on there and I watched the first episodes of One Piece, Sailor Moon, My Hero Academia, Cowboy Bebop, and Bleach. And the like One Piece and Sailor Moon, I don't think are quite gonna be my bag, baby.
God.
And I knew One Piece was about pirates, and I'm like, okay, I like pirates. I'm gonna check it out. But it's like really goofy, which I can get down with some goofy stuff. I mean, like I love SpongeBob, right?
Isn't One Piece on like episode 900 by now?
Yeah, and the manga is in like 107, 108, or 1007, 1008.
Yeah, I just think at some point you just got to know when to say enough.
Yeah. But
it's hard because when it was first made, it was legitimately made for kids, and that's funny that I should say it like that, because the company that took over the American production was called 4Kids.
Yeah.
And they had to change a lot of the stuff in there, but they did it horribly. That upset a lot of the fans.
I remember that. I was watching anime in that era. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And so now what we have, which is what a lot of these older shows and cartoons are experiencing now without their reboots, is you have them growing up. You have your fans who first started growing up with the show. So now people like me that were watching One Piece when they were younger, now the episode is more darker. Like when you're watching or reading the manga in these later episodes, there's people dying, there's blood, there's like really serious issues that that happen where life and death are in the balance, and you don't know if anyone's gonna come out alive, but they still keep that goofiness to it. But it's a tough watch in the beginning because that's super for kids.
Right.
Yeah.
What the thing is, like I said, I mean, there's a lot of quote unquote for kids stuff. And but I still like watching it, like I said, with like things like SpongeBob and whatnot, but the thing with One Piece, is like that main character, he's like, you're not expecting, him to be like, Mr. Fantastic, with his, with his rubbery arms and whatnot, and you're like, what the heck is this? But, I watched those, those 5 episodes, and, I'm like, My Hero Academia was a little bit better. And, it was, it's still kind of quote unquote, kiddish, but at the same time, it still had, aspects that, somebody older could get into. But, Cowboy Bebop and Bleach, though, were, I'm like definitely, I was like, I gotta, keep on watching, those episodes. And like I said, I got, I went with Cowboy Bebop first, but, some of the, I mentioned, watching stuff when I was a kid, like like Voltron and and G-Force, which in other places was called Battle of the Planets, I think.
And in Japan it's Gatchaman.
And like Speed Racer, that was an anime that that got turned into a really popular show over here, because from my understanding, Speed Racer only lasted for like a little bit, like one season, maybe 2, I don't know, but and some people got together and they're like, "No, dude, we gotta make something out of this, and give it to the American audience, and dude, I watched Speed Racer like religiously, but the and like in the like 2008 ish, when I was living down in Arizona, this dude got me to watch Initial D, and that's like one of my favorites, because I'm a car dude, but and I also found this one called Wangan Midnight, and it's similar to Initial D, with it being like a car, a car guy, car person, anime.
Yeah, Shebak, you met like great teacher Onizuka, which is basically the baddest biker in Japan. Decides to get his life together by becoming a teacher. Well, actually, no, that's not entirely true. He wants to become a teacher because he wants to tap some teen poon.
Okay.
But it turns out he's actually a damn good teacher.
Uh,
And he never gets that teen poon, though he tries.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's kind of like, what if the Fonz was actually a badass and actually became a teacher? It's kind of like that, where he's got the street smarts and he can relate to the kids on a level that the actual teachers can't. Like he can be real with them.
Hmm.
He can get down on their level and just talk real life with them.
Yeah.
And yeah, and the show is just absolutely hilarious with some of these jokes it comes up with.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, it's like it also makes it real. Like, yeah, his life as a gangster was not a pretty one, and he still has ties to those days. So there's times he gets real too.
One of the other things that I can't remember exactly what year it was. Like early 2000s. I had re-enlisted. This is back when I was still in the Navy. I had re-enlisted, and I switched platforms of aircraft. So I had to go to another school, to learn some stuff. And so I got sent down to Jacksonville, Florida for a couple months. And the guy that I was having to room with was a Dragon Ball Z nut.
Nice.
And so by the end of that couple of months, I was, he kind of got me hooked on Dragon Ball Z, and I'm like, I was like, I hate you, but but Dragon Ball Z is another one of those ones that I got hooked on for a while. I think it was just for that short little time though, because I don't really remember watching it, afterwards. But yeah, I don't know. I like I really like the Initial D and One Gone Midnight and things like Cowboy Bebop and Bleach.
Yeah. Hey, Shell, sorry, man. I have got to jet.
Yeah, that's cool.
Sorry, man. I gotta go. I'll talk to you a little later.
Right on.
Sorry, man. I just did it a little late and realized I got some things I need to get done, and literally right now. But it was great streaming with you. I'm looking forward to doing this next Saturday.
Yeah, we
All
can.
Right. Thanks, man. You take care.
Yeah, have a good one, dude.
You too.
Get back.
Yeah, we're not. I don't think we'll go much longer anyway. Like I said, maybe an hour, but
We got 12 minutes.
I don't know what other or what ones have really gotten your interest.
Well, I like that Chad meant. I had no idea when he mentioned Space Dandy was by the same director as Cowboy Bebop, because every time he would mention something in Cowboy Bebop, I would be like, "Wait a minute, did they see that in Space Dandy?" Because there was even it was weird because there was an episode in Space Dandy where he has to go protect some little girl who's like a special species that can heal people, and she's got like a little plant on her head, I think. So I was confusing the two episodes. So Space Dandy, it's not as serious as Cowboy Bebop, but the story's still pretty interesting, and it's pretty goofy, but like kind of an adult way, because his favorite space restaurant's called Boobies. And it's literally a floating space station with like a boob on each end.
Wow!
And there girls in there with tight shirts, tight tank tops of all different species. So there's lots of
basically space hooters.
Yeah, Space Hooters is basically what it. I think the type font is even the same as Hooters, but it's very I mean, it's very adult oriented, very silly. I like the animation. When it comes to animes, for me, like it has to be like visually appealing.
Yeah.
I can usually look at an anime style and just be like, oh, this was made back in the '90s or something. You know what I mean? So definitely, if you're interested in Cowboy Bebop, check out Space Dandy if you want something silly. That'd be like a fusion between Cowboy Bebop and SpongeBob, maybe. Yeah, because the characters are just as crazy.
Yeah.
And then, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say in the anime chat, the Twitter, chat, he said something about Samurai Champloo.
I haven't watched that one, but the way he describes it, it also sounds a lot like Afro Samurai. I don't know if you've seen that one. It's this beautifully animated anime. I mean, I'm being redundant saying that, but they have Samuel L. Jackson as the voice of the Afro Samurai, and it's so dark. It's got an amazing story. It's you gotta watch it. I don't even think it's not even. I think it's just a movie. Like I don't know if it's a show. I don't really.
Chad said that Samurai Champloo is the same guy, the Cowboy Bebop guy. And the way he described it was that the main character in Samurai Champloo is basically another version of Spike from Cowboy Bebop.
That seems to be a running pattern with these really amazing animes: Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, Space Dandy. Yeah, so I guess try Samurai Champloo, and then if you like that, Afro Samurai is good too. It sounds like the same thing, like Samurai with hip hop soundtrack. So I mean, I liked it, so maybe I'll try that out. I know I mentioned Outlaw Star. That's not really. It's got adult themes, but I mean, it was on the Cartoon Network kind of block of shows called Toonami. And basically, they were like they pretty much introduced a whole generation to anime, and that's where I first saw it. And it was for an older generation, but it was still kind of made for teenagers.
Right.
It wasn't as silly, but it had heavy Western themes to it. I mentioned, what was that?
I was gonna say kind of like Nick at Night or what is it? Adult Swim.
Adult Swim,
that type of stuff.
Toonami's right before Adult Swim, so you have your kids block all day, you have your teenager block, and then you have your adult block in Cartoon Network. It's just the way that I saw it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Outlaw Star. There's guns, there's fights, there's space pirates, spaceships, showdowns, stuff blowing up, ultimate treasure. It's only one season, so when you watch it, that's all there is to it, and it ends beautifully. For every episode, I think, of Cowboy Bebop that's just beautifully like on its own, Outlaw Star is complete in its own entirety of the series as itself. So it's definitely worth the watch.
See, I don't know if I saw that on the little list that on the Hulu list.
I don't know.
I remember seeing Afro Samurai. Though, but I don't know. It's funny though, that I've some of the stuff I've seen, and I either forgot the name or didn't see the title, before I. But when I caught certain things, because like I was talking to somebody, and like Ninja Scroll, Ninja Scroll got mentioned, right? And I'm like, oh, that sounds pretty cool, and then I was talking to somebody later on, and I was like, yeah, I saw this one anime, and it has this chick, and like she's getting raped by this dude, and next thing you know, he's like he like literally starts falling apart like a pile of rocks, like and they're like
I think that
that's
might be hentai.
yeah, no, but they're like, no, that's a scene out of Ninja Scroll, and I'm like, okay, well, I've seen Ninja Scroll then. but yeah, I don't know, it was weird, the bad guy, obviously, and he's like he's huge. I mean, he's like really a really big dude, and he forces himself on this gal, and basically her bodily fluids acted like poison, and literally later on literally caused him to fall apart. It was like,
What?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Okay, that's a new one. That's a new one for me.
Yeah.
I never seen that in any of the things I watched.
But
I think Wookie mentioned, I think Afro Samurai and Boondocks were I recognize the animations together. I think animes like Space Dandy and Afro Samurai, and a little bit of some of the action scenes in the Boondocks, they all have kind of this really fast paced action sequences that the older I get, it's starting to get harder to keep track of, So the animes, you could tell, like in Cowboy Bebop, they're kind of a little more realistic. Nothing's too crazy fast, or nobody's too overpowered or anything like that.
Right.
But I like those styles of anime because it's, again, visually appealing. Just to be able to see it and for it to be feasible, and not like to have an anime where a character is so overpowered all they do is like flick someone and they explode. It's like it's not like that. It's like, no, absolutely
like on Dragon Ball Z, like freaking Fatal J. I don't know if you've ever watched any of his stuff at all.
I haven't, no.
But anyway, he like especially when somebody like super chats him or whatever, he'll play like clips, Dragon Ball clips, and like there's one where they're I can't remember if they're talking about Goku or somebody else, but the one guy's like, well, what's his power level at? And the other guy was like,
it's over 9,000.
Yeah, that. And he's like,
probably in the
over 9,000.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a very popular scene out of the anime. Yeah, that's funny.
But yeah, that's one of the things that cracks me up about that one, because it's it's like that's that seems like what it's in, it's like it takes them like 3 episodes to get through one fight, and
that there's actually
everything's
a story
like
behind that.
Yeah, everything's like a over,
it's exaggerated and kind of just like
explosions and whatnot.
Yeah. I think there was even like an episode where one of the characters, Piccolo, was getting like this like boost in his power or whatever, and the voice actor he sounds so ridiculous. It was Christopher Sabat, and the power ups he's like, oh yeah, I feel great, this is amazing. And like, I heard an interview with him where he's just like, we had been recording like almost all day, and it was like just nighttime and they all wanted to go home, so we just did that real quick. So even the voice actors were kind of getting frustrated with this whole 3 episodes spent powering up and people getting knocked out and then coming back to life. And so you're not the only one who feels that.
Yeah. But anywho, we've been jabbering for about an hour, and
Yeah.
I don't know, I think that's good enough for this go around.
We got all the
but,
serious animes out of
yeah.
the way. Maybe next time we'll
But,
talk about the goofy ones.
Yeah, but yeah, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind doing this again. You know, either midweek or next weekend. You know, around the same time.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Maybe we can talk about you know, like the other half of Cowboy Bebop, and
Yeah.
you know, think of some more things to suggest or talk about. You know. So, anywho, I appreciate everybody that tuned in, and yeah, look for us around the same time again, you know, next week, or just, you know, keep an eye out on the Twitter sphere for you know, episode alerts and whatnot. And until next time, fair winds and following seas. See you later, everybody.